My name is Regina Tolbert, and I'm one of the partner sales executives here for the Microsoft team here. I focus on partners within the state of Illinois. And joining me for today's presentation is my associate, Todd Sweetster. He's one of the TS2 Partner Technology Strategists, and he'll be helping me present today. Today what we'd like to do is focus on the Microsoft Office suites. What we want to do is provide you with an overview of Office 365 and Office 2013. As many of you know, our Office 365 and Office 2013 solutions are an excellent opportunity for you partners out there to introduce the opportunity of leveraging multiple devices for your customers' business environments. When we say this, Microsoft is uniquely qualified in this particular space. There is no other vendor or resource partner out there that you're working with today that can provide the immense flexibility and delivery options that our services do include. Microsoft Office can be accessed through multiple devices, whether it's touch, pen, or mouse-enabled or keyboard-enabled devices. We do provide support through Windows Phone, iOS, as well as Android phones. So what we want to make sure that you tell your customers out there is no matter what device that they are using today, it's likely that they can access the Office applications directly from those individual devices. Now, in addition to the unique capabilities of Office, the world's most popular applications out there in the world today, we want to make sure that you have visibility into the social aspects that our services do provide. These include news feeds, microblogging, and access to Yammer. If you're unfamiliar with any of these services, please make sure that you reach out to your partner sales executives or other members of our teams here so that we can bring you up to speed to this. You also, through Office, have visibility into applications or services such as Skype, the resources that we're using today. And what's very important, and you'll find that many of your customers are requiring today, is the ability to access our cloud options. So because we developed these solutions to be delivered on multiple devices, you have a development model there that is empowering your customer as well as your partner base out there. We want to make sure that you partners out there are aware of the resources that we make available, so please reach out to us and we're happy to bring you up to speed regarding this. And then, of course, through Microsoft Office, we do provide data loss protection, data retention, e-discovery options, and also a consistent management experience that you can leverage through the cloud services that we make available. When we talk about Office 365, we're excited because Microsoft is, again, uniquely qualified in this particular space. We provide opportunities out there, whether you're an individual consumer customer or a business customer. If you take a look at the licensing options that we're displaying here for you today, you'll see the wide variety of options that we deliver for the Office platform out there. And once again, I want to make sure that you are sure to reach out to your distribution partners or any of the Microsoft team members out here, because we're happy to bring you up to speed regarding which volume licensing option makes the most sense for your customer engagements out there. What most of our partners out there, you folks here on the call, are going to be most interested in are two particular business plans. This includes our business plans as well as our enterprise plan. When we talk about the business plan, this falls under the umbrella of the business premium options here. We've got the Office applications that are built alongside the cloud services options, and that does include the Office apps along with OneDrive and Office solutions such as Office 365. What we're going to do now is drill into some additional details about these options. And again, these plans are designed to help you, the partners, be quite successful in this space. Feel free to let us know if indeed you have any questions or comments about licensing or the individual functioning. Todd, can you bring us up to speed about the details regarding the services themselves?
Certainly, certainly. Thank you, Regina. And hello, everybody. My name is Todd Sweetser. I'm a partner technology strategist here with Microsoft. My focus is on the East Coast area. These calls are covering the entire nation. We wanted to be able to share lots of information with you in regards to the comparison between Office 365 Business and Office 365 Pro Plus. And that's really the driving force behind this discussion. But kind of starting at a high level, we wanted to make sure everybody understood the different layouts and the different products that are available within the two SKUs. And when you talk about Office Business, the Business Premium SKU and the Business SKU are the two SKUs that include the Office client. The Business Essentials SKU is just the services on the back end, whereas with the Enterprise SKUs, the Enterprise E3, E4 SKU, as well as the Pro Plus include the client, the Pro Plus client, and the E1 is the services. The nice thing to note about these two plans and these two core bundles is that they can be mixed and matched together today. This is something that didn't exist in the past, but now if you have users that have some needs that are more in the line of the business, what the business solutions bring to the table, you can have them in the same tenant and have some users using Pro Plus as those are necessary as well. So let's do a quick comparison of the Office client offerings that are out there. And this slide talks to both the 365 offerings as well as the offerings that are available via volume licensing. So you've got Office Standard 2013, Office Professional Plus 2013 as available through volume licensing. And you can see on the left-hand side what components are part and what capabilities are included with each of these solution sets. With Office Standard, and you'll notice, by the way, that there is a correlation between Office Standard and Office 365 for Business, as well as Office 365 or Office Professional Plus 2013 and Office 365 Pro Plus. The one big difference, of course, is all of the different back-end services that get associated with it when you bring in the 365 offerings, because they will include the ability to share Office on multiple devices, which we'll talk to in more detail. They will have access to the OneDrive for Business offering with 1 terabyte of space per user. You'll be able to have roaming documents and settings across the board. And one big difference as well with Office 365 offerings is that your solutions are always going to be up to date. By the way, I should mention, if you have any questions as we're going through here, definitely feel free to ask in the IM window, and we'll definitely address them as we can. Now, this slide I left in here more of just a resource for yourselves to be able to utilize and be able to consume, as this slide has a lot of details across the board between what the differences are between the Office clients. And probably one thing and I'm not going to talk to this slide in a lot of detail, as the next slide gets into a little bit more focused detail between the Business SKU and the Pro Plus SKU. But I think that this slide actually tells you and lets you know that there are quite a few differences between the four actually, and you'll be able to actually utilize that slide going forward. So let's talk about the business. Then this is really the meat of this discussion today: the differences between Business versus Pro Plus. And this is something that we get a lot of questions about. There are differences between the two clients when they're implemented. With Office 365 Business, probably the biggest thing is which Office applications are included. With Office 365 Business, you've got Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, and Publisher. Those are the clients that are included with the Office 365 for Business SKU. If you need or have users that have requirements around access, and also have a requirement for Skype for Business client, that's where you would go with Office 365 Pro Plus. Now, one thing I want to note with the Skype for Business client, if you purchase a SKU with Office 365 for Business, such as Essentials or premium that does include access to the services of Skype for Business Online, you can still access a Skype for Business client, which is the basic client that is downloadable from the portal. One thing that it will not include is some of the capabilities in respect to enterprise voice, and that's actually something that's noted a little further down on this screen here. You'll notice enterprise voice is actually highlighted as only available with ProPlus, and what that means is the client for Skype for Business will support enterprise voice functionality. And when I say that, we're talking about the ability to hook into either an on-premises Skype for Business implementation or link implementation, or a third-party hosted implementation that has voice enabled with PSTN endpoint access. Going down the line, a few other things. The core value items are equal across the board. The terabyte of OneDrive for Business Cloud storage, being able to take advantage of Office Online across the board, and a lot of the core Excel BI functionality, Power Map, Power Query. Those are available within both the business versions of Excel as well as the ProPlus. Now, Power Query does have a difference. We start getting into the enterprise value, and that's where there are a lot more differences and a lot more items that are only available in the ProPlus SKU. Power Pivot, Power Query for enterprise data, that means internal data. To be able to access internal data with Power Query, you would require the ProPlus SKU. Power View, and a lot more spreadsheet controls. Another item that is only available in ProPlus is in the area of compliancy, being able to create IRM lockdown emails, set up retention, data loss prevention, DLP, those types of things. Those are only available with the ProPlus SKU. Another item that is not obvious here, and I'll talk about in a little more detail on the next slide actually, has to do with being able to access the cloud-based archiving. So let's say that you have Office 365 for Business, and you've added on Exchange Online Archiving, which you can add that on to Office 365 for Business today. But with the client within the Outlook client within Office 365 for Business, and I'm just going to jump forward to show it to you, would not be able to view the online archive files. So on this screenshot here, on the right-hand side is the ProPlus Outlook client, and on the left-hand side is the Business Outlook client, both connecting to the same mailbox that has an archiving enabled. You'll note here that archiving is not going to be able to be viewable, the online archiving, within the Outlook client as part of Business. And this is a question that we get very often. If this is the case and you have that requirement, you have the option of using Outlook Web Access. You can actually view these cloud-based archives in Outlook Web Access, or you would need to upgrade the users to a SKU that includes the ProPlus client. Now, do note that the archiving capabilities that are outside of just the cloud-based archive files, such as being able to do in-place holds and legal holds, would still be there on the back end. But for the end-user access, that would require the ProPlus. A few other items that are only in the ProPlus, IT controls, being able to do some controls via policy, telemetry, being able to control when updates are pushed out. Enterprise voice I talked about just a moment ago. What that means is, again, the Skype for Business Online client that's part of ProPlus can work with an enterprise voice infrastructure, whereas the Skype for Business Online basic client that you can download through the business SKUs does not support that. The next line item there has to do with support for shared computer activation, remote desktop services. And that is another one that comes up quite often. And that is only available with Office 365 ProPlus. So if you have a requirement that entails utilizing a remote desktop infrastructure, using RDS, and you want to be able to use Office for your Office 365 subscribed users, you would need to have Office 365 ProPlus. in order to take advantage of that. And there's lots of documentation out there on how to enable shared computer activation, but at the end of the day, what that does is allow users to be able to utilize the Office client on that type of environment within an RDS implementation. The rest of the items there are pretty equal outside, of course, the price and the seat cap. You only can have up to 300 users per line item with Office 365 for Business, whereas ProPlus, it is unlimited. So real quick, Office 365 for Business from a client point of view. I've talked about a lot of these items on this slide already, but a few other pointed items. There's no domain setup required when we're talking about just the client itself. If you just buy the client as a line item, you don't have to set up necessarily a domain. It does support on-premises Active Directory sync, though, for single sign-on if necessary. When I say single sign-on, it means have the same user ID and password across the board, and it includes the 3 nines uptime SLA on the back end. Office apps, you can have up to 5 instances of these Office applications with the 365 for Business as well as ProPlus. So what that means is each user can install Office onto up to 5 PCs or Macs, which I'll talk about in just a moment. As well as taking advantage of applications in a commercial setting for tablets and for smartphones. Now, when you get into ProPlus, you get all of everything we just talked about, as well as access, the enhanced business intelligence capability, the shared computer activation, as we talked about already, as well as the support for hybrid Exchange, SharePoint, and Skype for Business Cloud and on-premise setups. And that can be important if you were taking advantage of those types of scenarios for some of your larger mid-size accounts. So now a few of the other Office applications that are included with Office 365, Office for Mac, and currently it's at 2011. And this is included with the Business, Business Premium, the Pro Plus, the E3, the E4. All of those SKUs include the access to Office for Mac 2011 today. And one thing I wanted to highlight here is that there was an update to the Outlook for Mac client specifically. And what you can do there is download the actual Outlook for Mac client. It adds some other capabilities that are not in the Outlook for Mac client that's part of 2011, such as getting access to that online archive we were talking about, push mail support for better syncing, and better support for signatures and some other capabilities. So I wanted to make sure everybody understands Office for Mac is included with Office 365 plans. Note it's not included with the Office Standard or the Office Professional Plus 2013 as part of volume licensing. It's another benefit to be aware of when utilizing Office 365 SKUs to get access to the Office clients. So let's start talking about Office on mobile devices, iPads, iPhones, and so on. So from a licensing standpoint, Office for iPad, hopefully everybody's aware of Office for iPad, Office for Android clients being available. And this slide talks to a little bit about what the licensing rights that are associated with it. From a consumer standpoint, just an end user who has they can download and install these applications and get some basic editing rights. There is no PC or Mac installs associated with that, and they would have to utilize the consumer-based OneDrive or Dropbox personal or local storage in order to store documents that they create on those devices. Whereas with the commercial licensing, where if you're utilizing Office 365 SKU, that includes Business, Business Premium, and the Enterprise SKUs that include Office. This is where you now have the full-blown editing rights, being able to edit and taking care of some of even the more advanced editing capabilities. And you can install it on up to 5 tablets or 5 phones when we talk about the phone devices. So it does, and the commercial licensing is what's key there, being able to use it against like your SharePoint Online sites and your OneDrive for Business sites, be able to save documents up into those storage facilities. Those are only possible when using Office for iPad or Office for Android against one of the Office SKUs within Office 365. And it's a similar scenario for Office Mobile for iPhones and Android phones. The commercial use is only available with Office 365 subscribers, although users can download and use those documents, those applications, if they're not on Office 365, but more on a basic and not being able to use it in a commercial setting. But they allow you to read, edit, create documents with Word, with Excel, with PowerPoint, access documents with OneDrive for those devices. So a few other points with the mobile devices. Being able to stay in sync with all of your documents, be able to have documents stored within OneDrive for Business, and there's a OneDrive for Business app for iOS, there's a OneDrive for Business app for Android. And there's actually a OneDrive client for Office for Windows phones as well now, as well as accessing it through the Office Hub. The applications for accessing OneDrive for Business is a free download for those users. But of course, to be able to access, they just need to log in with their appropriate authentication mechanism for their Office 365 tenant. The newest OneDrive for Business clients actually are generic OneDrive clients that can access OneDrive Consumer and OneDrive for Business on the same client. So that's another powerful function as well. Being able to have real-time collaboration with Office for iPad, you can actually do co-authoring alongside folks that are working on their desktop client or on their Office Online clients. So that can help when you're working on a report, working on a document, working in concert with other folks on these documents. It's very easy, and it allows you to actually work alongside each other and get the documents completed in a more efficient basis and be able to watch as other folks are updating the documents on both ends. From a communication standpoint, of course, Skype for Business was released, and that can be utilized on a variety of devices. Many of the devices today, outside of the Windows device, still will use the Link 2013 device client for those devices. They will be updated soon to the Skype for Business client for those devices as well. But being able to have IM and multi-party HD video conferencing for all of these users as you're having meetings such as we're having today with a variety of devices is available. Nice thing, too, is employees, you can potentially let them pick the device of their choice because of the variety of devices that are now supported with all of these different applications. And then, while it's not on the slide here, of course, being able to have some control over these devices, you can utilize solutions within the Enterprise Mobility Suite that we now offer to have some control and lock down and be able to do a selective wipe off these machines if machines get lost or misplaced. Being able to use multiple devices with each subscription, all are there. And then being able to use touch, ink, and voice, being able to actually across the board with these devices and with these different applications. With OneNote, being able to use your use ink capabilities and actually have that automatically turn into text, being able to record voice notes within OneNote on your mobile device and then have it be there for you when you log onto your PC or onto your tablet. Really enhance the productivity of your end users as they're working through particular applications within their day-to-day work. And, of course, being able to have offline access as these applications are loaded onto these different types of machines, be it Office client on the desktops, the Office apps on the mobile devices. As long as the document is on the machine locally, they can still access the documents within those devices directly without having a need for the browser support. So, I know we're getting a little bit over the hour, but since we started a little bit late, I wanted to make sure we brought up a few other points. Office 2016 preview is now available, and I have some links on the bottom of this screen for how you can access it. There's a few different ways. If you're using VLBits, you can just download the MSI and install it. If you're Office 365, you can get on the preview release and be able to actually download and install it on your Office 365 client. It is important to note that it will replace your Office 2013 client. if you do it within Office 365, either Business or ProPlus. So just be aware of that. Of course, you can always go back to the 2013 client, but if you are interested in starting to get an idea of the look and feel and what Office 2016 will bring to the table, it is definitely available today. Also, Office for Mac Preview is available. Along the same lines, there's a link on the screen as well. That one they can actually, and I noticed BJ actually mentioned, they can run concurrently with 2011, and that is correct. The Office for Mac Preview has a little bit more flexibility there. It can run alongside, and you can get an idea of the look and feel. They've added the familiar ribbon to make it much more consistent between the Office Windows client as well as the Mac client. But still takes advantage of a lot of the underlying Mac features, taking advantage of the Retina display and the full screen view support, and still being connected to the cloud on the back end, being able to access all those cloud storage facilities. So I wanted to mention the Plan Selector tool as a tool that is out there to be able to help you as a partner and your customers choose the appropriate plan that may be correct for what their requirements are. And it's really based on 7 key business needs. You select the particular business needs and how many employees you have, whether it's less than 250, more than 250, and it'll show you and come back with highlights and pricing for a particular plan that would make sense. And it will also show you additional capabilities. As well as at the bottom of the screen, it'll give you some links to compare all plans. It'll also have you a direct link to the service descriptions if you need further details on those particular plans. So it's a nice tool to kind of just get a quick idea of which plan is required based on the requirements of that particular customer set. Also wanted to share some resources that are available. So if you look right here, there are links to a variety of resources that are available mostly on the Ready to Go site to help with these decisions. There's sales guidance slides that have basically like a couple pager. There's data sheets as well as pitch decks to help you when you're talking to customers about the plans. And probably one of the key ones there is pitching the right plan to SMBs. With that, you can actually make sure you're getting the right plan to those users and they can know what they need to go forward with.